Hey guys, what is up? This is Anthony. It's me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw This Time, is going to be on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Just like the title suggests, this is part 1 of a two-parter film, and in this film we follow Ethan Hunt as he's on a mission to retrieve a key that unlocks a deadly weapon that might become a threat to the world if it goes to the wrong hands of someone. This is just the beginning to the end of a franchise. I'm not sure if it actually is usually when it comes to two-part movies, it indicates that it's going to come to an end, so yeah, I'm guessing that it is supposed to be the end. I mean, throughout this year, we've had quite a bit of movies that are just the beginning of an end to a franchise. I mean, with Fast X, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I feel like this might become a new thing for Hollywood. I don't know. I mostly just prefer movies just being its own thing and not just setting up another movie. But hey, Across the Spider-Verse was awesome. Despite that being a part 1 movie, it never hid the fact that it was still a great film all around. And you can often forget that it's just part 1 of an ending. And I can definitely say the same with this film. Throughout the Mission Impossible franchise, I feel like the franchise just gets better with each installment. The only Mission Impossible film I didn't really like all that much was the second film, but I feel like ever since Ghost Protocol, the franchise has just been going uphill. I think Mission Impossible Fallout is the best out of all of them. Hell, I think that movie is one of the best action movies ever made. And needless to say, seeing Christopher McQuarrie come back to direct another film was super exciting. And despite the fact that this was just part 1 of a two-part film, I just turned off my brain and just completely forgot about that and just threw popcorn in my mouth, just watching over 2.5 hours of Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, and Rebecca Ferguson, going all out in this film. Now, I don't necessarily think this is as good as the last film, but I feel like as an action film, it definitely doesn't have as much of it, as the movie definitely focuses a lot on story parts, and oftentimes it can kind of drag on a little bit. But the movie, honestly, never fully felt like over 2.5 hours. It definitely felt more like just 2 regular hours. Plus, it's always great to see Tom Cruise on screen when he's doing films like this. I mean, just a reminder, this guy does his own stunts. And, I mean, in Mission Impossible Fallout, he broke his leg during a scene in that film. So, it pretty much goes to show that he'll pretty much do anything to make the audience entertained. Whether it's flying into the sky on a jet or just pulling off the craziest stunts or even jumping off a cliff, as we saw in the trailer. And he actually did jump off a cliff. I don't know if they had to shoot multiple scenes at that part. If so, then it kind of scares me. Like, what if there's a time where something happens and Tom Cruise just... and something just... I really hope... You know what I'm thinking. I just hope that never happens. But that man has some balls. Like, really, to do some crazy sequences like what happens throughout these movies, it is insane. And when it does come to those action sequences, they are breathtaking. They are fantastic. They are fun to watch. And I'm not going to spoil exactly what certain aspects of the movie have those certain parts, but it definitely pays off. It has some of the most, realistic looking action sequences. Oftentimes, it doesn't even look like they use CGI, did they? Because it really doesn't look that way. Because like I mentioned before with Tom Cruise and, the fact that he does his own stunts. And there is a specific part in the movie that kind of reminds me of one of the Uncharted games. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but in terms of the conclusion to the movie, it's not like the type of ending where you're just all like, oh man, I gotta wait till the next movie. Like, come on. I feel like viewers might just get enough out of this film to fully be satisfied until the next movie comes out. Because whether or not you're fully going to get answers to this entire thing, I feel like the movie just gets so much right in terms of its action and its storyline to its characters. I mean, performances all around are fantastic, and it does have some returning characters, though I definitely recommend watching the other films before watching this film, but needless to say, it doesn't matter. All of them are great, except for the second one. I mean, the second one does have its fans. It's just, I feel like that's the most forgettable out of all of them, but in the end, guys, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a great start to a conclusion. Despite it just being part one to a conclusion, I can say that it can. There are often times where I just completely forgot that because it really doesn't feel that way. It just feels like its own movie, and the fact that it was just part one never ruined anything. I feel like viewers are going to get just enough of an experience out of this film to fully wait until that next film comes out. Because with how great the franchise has been ever since Ghost Protocol, I feel like it is definitely going to be more than worth it. This summer hasn't been nice in terms of box office numbers, but hopefully with this film, I feel like that might change. I mean, Top Gun Maverick was a huge hit, so hopefully with this film, we might get something like that as well. I don't expect over $1 billion. I mean, I just expect it to make a good enough profit because this summer definitely has been kind of a letdown in terms of box office results. But hopefully, I'm just hoping this can make up for that because there's so much to love about this film. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.